With us now is Bill Simone, and we're going to be talking about crawl spaces, and basements. Welcome to the show. How are you?
Good, Donna. Thanks so much for having me. This is great.
I really rarely get tongue-tied, but so it's crawl spaces and basements, and how to keep them, I guess, germ-free, like mold. You take care of all types of stuff, restoration.
Yes, we do, and we make our claim to fame is we make it healthy.
Okay.
We want to make a healthy home for healthy families. And yes, we do basement waterproofing, we do crawl space environmental company that we are, and we do foundation repairs as well, and we also finish basements.
I know you just got it, like, well, we're going to be talking about that, but you got a big national award for your basement refinishing, which is fabulous.
Did.
What got you involved in this? Why did you pick this as your profession?
Well, I did basements when I was with my father.
Okay.
And we did our first basement in 1970, was for our home. And then I got into home improvement. And from there, I just specialize now in basements.
Okay.
In below grade spaces.
And you're right, sometimes you go into somebody's basement and you could just smell it. It just smells awful. It smells like dead fish. How do you know when you have a leaky basement? Is it that smell? Is that how you know?
Well, that smell is water vapor also.
Okay.
So not only do you want to have a basement that's very dry, you want to have the water vapors not coming in either. So we have water vapors. We're the only company on Long Island that does from basement waterproofing to finishing. Okay. And why that's important is we have everything in between. Water vapors, water vapor wall systems, for example, flooring that's antimicrobial and doesn't get damaged with water, and indoor air quality control.
And we live on an island. So
yes,
even though people can work with your company and different, as you said, licensees across the United States and even in Canada, here we are on an island, and there's a lot of water, right? Yeah. And we've had Hurricane Sandy. Before that, we've had all types of different problems. And you're right, a lot of times when they went to go rebuild their basement, people just thought, oh, well, I'll just put up a new piece of paneling, and it doesn't matter that we have all this black stuff growing on our walls. And so what they did is they trapped all that bad bacteria and grossness behind it.
And that's what makes the musty smell.
Okay.
Because you don't want to lay a carpet down, for example, on a slab, because the carpet, after a while, starts absorbing the water vapor that comes up, and then you get that musty smell that you're talking about. So back then, when I built the basement with my father, we had the dark panel. This is 70s, right? The dark paneling and, the mirrors, up. And that was nice back then with wood studs. It was all organic material. And so today, in our technology, we have antimicrobial material, plastics, vinyls, just to name a few. And so when you use these products, you're not allowing mold to grow, and you have to control the humidity to keep it nice and comfortable. And then you have a healthy basement and a crawl space too.
You brought a couple of pieces of show and tell.
Yes.
But before we do that, let's take a look at the clip that you brought us, okay? Let's take a look.
Yes, it's powerful.
The problem I was having, which I was unaware of, was I had mold and a terrible, dirty crawl space. Since I got Healthy Basement, my neighbor had already had it, and I was up in the air about getting it until he actually brought me to his house and said, take a look at what they did for me. This is 8 years earlier. And when I saw his crawl space, which was similar to mine, I looked at it, I couldn't believe it, and I said, this is what I want. And then I had a salesperson, Andrew, come to my house, walk me through it, brought me downstairs in there, crawled in there. We both put on Tyvek suits or whatever. And the only question I had was, is my crawl space gonna look exactly like my neighbor's? And he said, yes, it will. And I have a son with special needs, and he's nonverbal. And That's hard as it is, but then he was getting rashes, he was getting fevers, he was coughing. We went through at least 5 doctors, dermatologists, behaviorists. Nobody was giving us a straight answer of why this was happening to him, and he couldn't speak to tell us. So then we thought it was bugs, because we saw a couple of bugs in his room. We had an exterminator come. That didn't work. And then right after Healthy Basement came, and actually before they were going to do the work, a guy, Dion, who was, I think, the manager, shop manager, said to me, I guarantee you when we do this and remove all that mold, your son will be better. And not even a week later, my son was better. Because 2 days later, from what my crawl space looked like to what it looks like now, it took 2 days to remedy it. It's unbelievable. If you live on a water table near water in a flood zone, I think as a homeowner, it's a necessity. But even if you don't, I would just recommend you guys come in and give your evaluation of anyone's basement or crawl space, because it makes the living up here much better, the air much better. We don't have to use the air conditioner as much, we don't have to use the heat as much, so those bills go down. And it just, for what it did for my son, I would recommend it to anybody.
So this particular client, so his son was autistic, and how did you working with him help change their life?
Well, he just could not find a solution for his son. He was always getting sick, and as the clip was showing, he just was very frustrated. He wanted his son, he wanted to do something for his son, and he didn't know what to do. And he went to his neighbor's house, and we had just did his crawl space. And his crawl space, our customer had a very nasty crawl space, very nasty. Water inside, it was dark and dingy, and smelly, had a mold down there. So he went to his neighbor, he said, I saw the truck, the Healthy Basement Systems, can I look and see what they did with your crawl space? He says, oh sure, no problem. Take off your shoes. He's like, excuse me? He says, yeah, take off your shoes. I like to keep my crawl space nice and clean. He says, this guy's maybe not out there somewhere. So he did, he took off his shoes and he went downstairs, and it was bright, white, clean, and just perfect. He says, this is what I want.
And that's what you delivered.
And that's exactly what we do.
And before we wrap up, there's 2 pieces of show and tell that you brought. Well, a few pieces, but this is a specialized pump that's patented, or
Yes.
patent pending. And so tell us why this is better than other pumps.
This pump here is one of our 32 patents.
Okay.
And the uniqueness of this is it actually has 3 pump systems, separate systems in one liner.
Okay.
Now, this is a model, obviously, and it has all the pumps in here and a battery backup just in case the electric goes out. And it has all alarms and little trickle charger generators that's in here that puts power back in the battery. And it has a little floor drain in case you get a pipe break. It's a very unique product, and our customers love it.
Wonderful. The other thing that is that we talked about is the fact that you provide a lot of education.
Yes.
Right. So working with you is easy and it's complete, and
Yes.
you know what you're doing.
It's so important that people know how a house breathes and reacts. Because how could you fix something if you don't know who your patient is, right? So we send out to everyone that wants an appointment, an actual science book that we published. And in this book, it's very informative, very simple, but it tells you how a house would breathe. It actually breathes from the bottom up, like this. So from the crawl space or the basement, and the air goes up. And that's important, because if you have a nasty dead animals in your crawl space, some people haven't gone in their crawl space in 20 years. And we come up with some
Time to
pictures.
call you, Bill.
Yeah, we're going to come up with some pictures, and they're a little horrified with that. But they're breathing 35% of the air. Their breathing is coming from there.
It's good to know.
So that makes sense. That,
So asthma, all types of breathing
all
things.
of that is all associated. So when you know the science of a house, now we can see what the symptoms are.
Well, I thank you, and I'm happy that your dad gave you such a good work ethic.
Yeah,
and I
thank
wish you
you.
all the best and happy journeys to you. Thank you for
so
joining
much.
us.
Thanks
Bill.
for having me.
And I like that. Now I know a little bit. I'd never thought about how your house breathes. So I was educated. I hope you were too. Your house breathes, and you're breathing that in. So no dead animals in your crawl space. Gross. Call Bill.